All rise. We will obey. The International Criminal Court is now in session. Ludensa La Cour Penal International, 8 word. Please be seated. Wait, was this?
Thank you very much. Court officer, please call the case.
Thank you, Mr. President. The situation in the Republic of Kenya in the case of the prosecutor versus William Samuel Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang. ICC 0109-0111. We're in open session.
Thank you very much. Appearances?
Good morning, Mr. President. Your Honors, appearances are the same for the prosecution.
Good morning, Your Honors. For the victims, Arslan Ernstig and Amanda Wilmot. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. President, Your Honors. Michel Bourgeois, Duty Counsel.
Good morning, Mr. President. The team for Joshua Arap Sang remains the same, except that Honor Lenham has rejoined us today.
Mr. President, Your Honours, good morning. The team for Mr. Ruto remains the same, save that Ms. Lee Laurie of Counsel will not be in court. And also Mr. Andrew Moura, I'm delighted to say, has been admitted to the list of legal assistants, and he appears in that capacity. I'm grateful.
Thank you very much. And witness, welcome back to you. Mr. Khan will continue his cross-examination. Mr. Khan, how are we looking?
Mr. President, I've been culling material most of the night, so I'm alive to the bench's guidance, and I am alive that the latest point is end of tomorrow, and I'm doing my best to shorten matters.
And Mr. Gessia, so far, have you...
One topic that we might come back on.
On re-examination?
That's correct.
And approximately how long do you think that would take?
I would say 15 to 30 minutes, at the most.
All right. Just so all counsel and parties, participants are all on notice, upon completion of the examination of this witness, we will hold a status conference immediately afterwards to look forward to the sessions next year and to take up any matters arising that impact on the sessions next year, especially in light of the indication we'd given to the prosecution that we want this case completed in those sessions already indicated for next year. So we will be holding a status conference immediately upon the conclusion of Mr. Khan's and Mr. Gessia's examinations of this witness. Mr. Khan, proceed.
I'm grateful, Mr. President.
We're in open session.
With your leave, Mr. President, perhaps we could go into a private session.
For how long?
Mr. President, I'm going to be broaching certain matters. Maybe 10 minutes.
Private session.
Now, regarding matters that are in the public domain and that are well and widely reported in Kenya. You know a certain Mr. You've heard about a certain Mr. Ken Wafula, who's very active in Kenya. Is that right?
Are we in public, Your Honor?
Yes, you can answer that question, yes or no.
Yes, I know him.
And you're aware from certain reports in the press, in the national newspapers in Kenya, that he was involved in an incident, a widely reported incident in January 2004, where it was alleged that he lured 40 young girls out of their homes in Marakwet to pose as female victims of female genital mutilation. Are you aware of that?
I object, Your Honor, on the basis of relevance.
Mr. Khan?
Mr. President, it's clearly relevant, we say. I'm not able really to say more. in public session and also in the presence of the witness. But, Your Honour, these individuals are known to the prosecution. They've been mentioned in previous occasions, and their links and relevance to the case are also matters that the prosecution are fully aware of. So, Your Honours, we are putting on this issue that this is a man motivated clearly by money, and not only before this court, but on other issues he's run scams that have been exposed. And more of the same is taking place here under the noses of the prosecution. So that's why it's relevant.
You'll be given a very limited scope to pursue that. Witness, the question now was whether you are aware or were aware of that widely, according to Mr. Ken, reported allegation against Mr. Wafula, you said?
No, Your Honor.
Let's go to tab 75 of the defence binder 1. And it's a public document. It's Ken D09-0035-0067. And it's a page from the East African Standard of Friday, January the 30th, 2004. It can be put on the screen. And in the right-hand side column, under controversy erupts over girls who fled forced circumcision, an article by Vincent Barton, B-A-R-T-O-N. Oh, sorry, B-A-R-T-O-O. It states this, and I quote, parents of 40 girls who fled their homes in Marakwet district.
1 second. That is the subject of the matter. Isn't it the same subject as the question, your last question to the witness?
Mr. President, I'm giving details to see if it helps refresh the witness's memory. So I'm going to just read that paragraph and then jump to the following column, which provides a little bit more detail. And then hopefully that will help jog the memory as to what was in the press in Kenya at the time.
Witness, can you read that thing on screen?
I can read, but I cannot remember when.
All right, Mr. Ken, let's not belabor the point. The witness can read. You can read what's on screen, right?
I can read, yeah.
All right, Mr. Ken, what's your question to the witness?
Witness, were you aware that CHRD was alleged to have deliberately taken some girls away from their homes in order to attract donor funding? Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware, Your Honor.
So that CHRD could say, look, we've got these people, give us money now for that noble cause of anti-female genital mutilation activities. Are you aware of that or not?
Question asked and answered. Mr. Ken, move on.
Questions? Mr. President, perhaps a private session just for a moment.
A private session.
Wanatengeneza. Mimi naitwa Ken Wafula. Okay. Okay, mafundi wa mitambo wanasema wanatengeneza. Mimi naitwa Ken Wafula. Mimi ndio ule mnasikia William Ruto na Uhuru Kenyatta wanalia nilipeleka hao kule ICC. Tunaelewa? Tunaelewana? Nawaambia aje? Okay, sawa. Sawa. Hiyo ni sabotage, si ndio sabotage? Okay. Sasa mnasikia sasa? Haya, sawa, nilikuwa nasema ya kwamba Ford. Nilikuwa nawaeleza ya kwamba order. Sisi kama watu wa civil society na NGOs hapa Kenya tunaunga mkono hii siku ya Sabasaba na maongeo ya kitaifa. Tunaelewana? Na mimi nataka kueleza ya kwamba serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta imeshindwa na kazi. The Jubilee government has reduced itself into a supine, soporific, supercilious, pusillanimous body of nitwits incapable of running the affairs of this nation. The earlier we send them home, the better for all of us. Na ninataka kuwapa ripoti kutoka kule Hague. Hiyo kesi zinaendelea mzuri. Hivi karibuni watu wataenda jela. Mtu asiwadanganya ati kesi imecollapse. People are going to sell huko Hague. Tunaelewana? Kwa hivyo tuungane pamoja kama Wakenya tuhakikisha kwamba serikali hii tumeiondoa. Asanteni sana.
Haya, sasa natualika hapa.
Grateful. And it can be stopped there at 3 minutes and 5 seconds. So, Mr. Witness, that's Ken Wafula. And let me read what Ken Wafula said. And I read from the transcript 0043-0222, starting at page 0223. And after 3 seconds, Mr. Anyanyongo states, and I quote, "Now I will call," and Anyanyongo is A-N-Y-A-N-G, Nyongo, N-Y-O-N-G-O. He states, and I quote, "Now I will call Mr. What? Okay, can you hear me? Now I'll call Mr. Ken Wafula, who will speak on behalf of NGOs. Continue." And then Mr. Ken Wafula takes to the stage. And he says, and I quote, "Cord. We will go to State House or not? We will go to State House or not?" Thank you very much. They can't hear.
Questions, right?
Do you beg your pardon, Mr. President?
They appear to be questions as indicated in the transcript.
Mr. President, it seems it's probably the printer problem. The questions are on the margin, are they, in the numbering?
No.
In the text?
Yes.
Yes.
Line 12, line 13.
Yes, Your Honour, indeed, the text is on the screen for the court stenographers.
What I mean is, the text says, "Will we go to the State House or not?"
Right.
Will we go to the State House or not?
Yes, I'm grateful.
Yes.
Mr. President, forgive me, I couldn't do an impersonation of Mr. Ken Wafula, so I'm just reading it maybe rather blandly. I'll try again. Question, speech marks, quotation marks at line 12. Cord. Will we go to State House or not? Will we go to State House or not? Thank you very much. They can't hear. They can't hear me over there. Okay, they are fixing. I am called Ken Wafula. I am called Ken Wafula. End quote. Witness, you heard that?
That is how I see it in there. Yes.
And that's a correct translation so far, isn't it, of what Mr. Wafula was saying on the video you've just watched?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And then Mr. Wafula says this at line 20 of the transcript, and I quote, "Okay, the technicians are saying they are fixing. I am called Ken Wafula. I am the one you hear William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta crying about. that I took them, square brackets there, to the ICC. Do we understand? Do we understand each other? I am telling you that. Okay, all right, all right, all right. This is sabotage, isn't it? Sabotage. Okay. End of quote. Witness, you heard that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And
Was it an accurate translation of what was said, Mr. Witness?
Yes, it's like the same what he was talking in there. Oh, yes, Your Honor.
You can proceed.
I'm grateful. And then at line 26, an unidentified speaker says, continue. And then at line 28, Mr. Kenwa Fuller does precisely that. And the translation at line 33 over the page at 0224 is as follows, and I quote, okay, can you hear now? Okay, I was saying that chord. I was telling you that. Order. We, as the people in civil society and NGOs here in Kenya, we join hands this Sabasaba Day in the national dialogue. Do we understand each other? And I want to tell you that the government of Uhuru Kenyatta has been unable to do the job. Did you hear that, witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's the correct translation of what was said in Swahili. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then Mr. Fuller continues, and it's in line 46. And the first part, in fact, is in English in the original. But I quote, the Jubilee government has reduced itself into, it's unintelligible, but witness, I'll put it to you, it's supine, soporific. But the Jubilee government has reduced itself into a, square brackets, unintelligible, supercilious, pusillanimous body of nitwits, incapable of running the affairs of the nation. The earlier we send them home, the better for all of us. Do we understand each other? And I would like to send a report to The Hague. Those cases are going on well, and soon people will go to prison. One should not be lied to that the case has collapsed. People are going to the cell there in The Hague. Have we understood each other? So let us unite as Kenyans to ensure that we remove this government. Thank you very much. Close quote. Witness, that's a correct reproduction of what Mr. Kenwa Fuller was saying and translation of the portions that he said in Swahili, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And the supercilious, pusillanimous body of nitwits he's referring to is the government led by the Honourable His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta and Mr. William Ruto. That's right, isn't it?
That is according to what I could hear, but
yes.
not in his position now.
Yes. And you heard that he also says that the earlier we send them home, the better for all of us.
Yes, Your Honor.
By home, what is meant?
I don't know what he was meaning.
Well, it means away from State House, doesn't it?
Maybe that was my...
And then you say this, he says this, I would like to send a report to The Hague. Those cases are going on well and soon people will go to prison. Knowing Kenya and listening to the tape, by a report to The Hague, he means a report to this court. Is that right? Is that your understanding, witness?
That's what I can see, but what I don't know.
And his view is that, quote, those cases are going on well and soon people will go to prison, end quote. You heard that being said? And your understanding was that his view is that people will go to prison arising out of the prosecution's allegations in this case. Is that right?
I don't know if he was meaning that.
You don't know. What else do you think he was meaning?
Yes, he was commenting about this case, but the case at The Hague, but I don't know his position because I was not with him.
Yes, let me move on about your skills of interpretation and moving on, interpretation as to language. Witness, you then heard that he says, people are going to the cell there in The Hague. You heard that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your understanding was that he was telling this large mass of people that Mr. Ruto was going that people, the President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta and Mr. Ruto, were going to go to a cell in The Hague arising out of the cases here. Is that right?
I don't know if he was meaning that.
You don't know. What else do you think he was meaning?
Mr. Ken, question is disallowed.
I'm grateful. Mr. Witness, that was a CORD rally, wasn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are fully aware, aren't you, that there's a clear view in Kenya that certain people are trying to achieve by way of these criminal proceedings what they couldn't achieve at the ballot box, namely getting rid of political opponents like His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta and Mr. William Ruto?
Again, that is an argument you can make.
Mr. President, I'll move on. I would ask to exhibit, with the Court's leave, the video and the transcript.
Mr. Cassia.
Your Honor, the prosecution still disputes the relevance of all of this, of what Mr. Wafula says or doesn't say regarding the ICC, so we object on that basis.
Ms. Bassman.
We have no objection.
Mr. Khan, the prosecutor is asking you the relevance.
Mr. President, the video, in fact, speaks for itself, and I've already touched upon the role of this individual and certain undercurrents. Your Honour, I have to speak rather cryptically, certain undercurrents in this case. Your Honour, the bid of an individual in that position to clearly wish to get support by talking about his role in the ICC case, his belief that individuals are going to prison, and using it really as a means of rousing a crowd is, we say, relevant. Your Honour, we are in public session. Perhaps we can go into private session for a moment.
Private session.